Hi, this is Tree06, and I want to thank LG for sponsoring this by reaching out to me and asking if I would like to do a first impressions and long term review of the LG G6 77-inch. This TV is simply phenomenal. You have your four HDMI 2.1 ports capable of up to 165 hertz, 4K 165 hertz. And I mean, just look at this beautiful picture. Like, I'm seeing detail that I've never seen before. And especially when you see some of the darker demos on here, because this entire playlist is the LG global playlist. I've seen these demos hundreds of times across many different TVs, but they've never looked this beautiful and this impactful. So with this first impressions, I just want to give you an idea of what it's like to use this TV for the past week or so. So we received this TV on February 10th, and since then, I've played a lot of games, including Returnal, Resident Evil Requiem, Astrobot, Mario Kart on the Switch 2, and there you can see the anti-reflective coating working as intended. But also, I've been watching a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, and just everything looks so great. The one thing I truly love about this TV is how bright the TV can get, but it's still very accurate. So you're not thinking like, oh, this isn't accurate because the increased brightness levels or anything like that. Anything you put on this TV is gonna look phenomenal. And even with this demo here, like, I remember seeing this demo, I believe it was with the G4 announcement video at CES. And every time I see it, I'm just in awe because it just looks so good. And even like the colors are jumping off the screen. You can definitely see the separation of color as well. And OLED perfect black, so like you're not gonna have any of that blooming, anything like that. And when it was actually interesting when we first unboxed this TV and mounted it on the wall. My family was over and they just couldn't believe like the colors. Like, our jaws were dropped, and it was a surreal experience. So yeah, so far, I've really been loving this TV. Like I mentioned earlier, everything on here looks phenomenal. The instantaneous response time for gaming. I actually want to do like a separate video after this first impressions, with my RTX 5090 build, just like to show you how it feels to play on this TV of this size. And that's the one thing I always recommend is if you can, go with the biggest size you can afford, because the immersion is just, it's there with everything. Like when you watch your movies and there's the expanded shots or like the panning shots, like you get to see a lot more detail. So it's definitely worth it. The brightness is second to none, and with the brightness, the increased brightness over previous models, like this TV will look phenomenal in a dark theater room, but even in a bright room. Like right now, I'm actually in my spare room, and I have the window to the side of me and behind me open, and it's not impacting my viewing experience at all. Like, look at the flames there. This TV is just, it's in a league of its own, and I definitely recommend that you go check this out. If you're looking to upgrade to a new TV, whether you're getting an OLED for the first time, or if you're upgrading size, or even if you bought the G5 and you want to see what the G6 can do, it's definitely worth it. And I also hope that with this video and the upcoming gaming video that I plan to do, I hope that you'll be able to see like how amazing this TV is. In addition to this first impressions, I'm going to do a long-term review as well. I believe it's within 3 to 6 months. But over that time, I'm going to log hundreds of hours with more gaming, with the PS5 Pro, Switch 2, my gaming PC, like I mentioned. I'm going to watch a lot more movies. TV shows, and just sports as well, just so that in that time I can give you my full perspective of what I think about this TV and how I've been using it and the experience using it as well. And like I mentioned earlier, if this is your first OLED you're getting, or you're upgrading from an older model, it's truly worth it. Like, everything that was promised with this TV, LG delivered. The brightness, the per pixel, color. Like, you're not going to have any of that, blooming like you would with an LCD or anything like that. And like I mentioned before, like, just the versatility of this unit. So, whether you want to buy this TV and have it as a dedicated gaming setup, or you want to have it strictly for movies, or you want to have it as an everyday TV, just like a Swiss Army knife that does everything. Like, LG really knocked it out of the park with this. So yeah, I mean, look at the colors here with these pencils, like just the different shades, and the separation of color and the gold, the highlights there. It's just, this TV is unworldly. So again, I am very thankful and blessed for the opportunity to give you this first impression. Like I mentioned earlier, I've had this TV for about a week now, and even like during like the initial unboxing, I felt just like a kid at Christmas. There was something on your wish list that you wanted all year, and then when you finally get it, like, it's here, fully realized. Like, it's simply amazing. So yeah, this has been my first impressions of the TV, and I'm going to let this demo play a little bit more. But like I mentioned, I do want to do a second video where I'm focusing on gaming, and I also want to do another one where I'm taking still shots of content, because I don't want to run into any like copyright issues or anything. But I believe that by taking those stills and providing the additional context, it'll be a good experience. And lastly, I also noticed that with this new processor, everything just seems to move a lot faster, whether you're navigating the menus. Like, for instance, I'm calling up the menu here, and you have your brightness settings, like how you want to have your sound output. Like, right now I'm actually using Wow Orchestra with the LG S80TR soundbar. That soundbar wasn't provided by LG. I've been using it for the last year, and it's been phenomenal in this spare room here. So I have no complaints with it. But yeah, just going through the menus here, checking out, like, if you want to change the sound mode, like, it's really quick, like very little delay. And then the same thing with the picture mode as well. Just going through the different modes. But yeah, when I'm watching TV, specifically SDR content, I like to keep it in filmmaker mode. But then when I'm watching HDR movies and things like that, I like to put it in cinema home, because I feel like I've been using those modes for years, and they're the most realistic and accurate to me. So that's what I like to use. But yeah, there's a lot more modes on there as well, like vivid mode, cinema home, vivid mode. Let me just pull them up here. Yeah, cinema home, game optimizer, that's for your games. Filmmaker mode, personalized picture mode. You can actually run the personalized picture wizard if you want to start with one of the picture modes as a base and then kind of tweak it to your liking. So it's really nice if you don't want to delve into the settings. It's really nice. Then there's of course vivid mode, and then you got standard, auto power save mode, and then I'll put it back to cinema home. But yeah, regardless of how you want to use this TV, whether it's your main gaming display, your everyday TV, for movies and TV shows, or if you just want to do everything with it, is just phenomenal, and the experience has been stellar. So thank you. I'm gonna let this run, and then I will follow it up shortly with another video. Thank you.